this video, we'll look at using your compadre to take an ordinary paper print and mount it to a rigid foam board. Now this is known as the traditional laminating and mounting process, and it involves two passes through the laminator. In the first pass, we're going to take an ordinary digital paper print and we'll convert it into a decal. We'll do this by applying an overlaminate to the top of the paper print and a double-sided mounting adhesive to the back. In the second pass through the laminator, we'll mount this decal to our rigid foam board. For the overlaminate, I'm going to recommend AGL's Coverite V6M. This is an excellent pressure-sensitive calendared vinyl with a rich, matte finish. Now this will knock down any glare that you might have from your paper images, and make sure that when your decal is mounted to your board, it'll work under any kind of lighting conditions. I'll go ahead and load this roll of material onto the compadre, and we'll take a quick look at the mounting adhesive that we're going to use. For the mounting adhesive, I've chosen AGL's Mount Smart Gold, and here's why. Remember, the surface of your board actually dictates the type of adhesive that you should use, and AGL has a full line of adhesives to work with any type of substrate. In this case, I'm actually mounting the image to gator foam, and I need a highly aggressive solvent acrylic adhesive found in Mount Smart Gold to make this happen. Also, the carrier is white. This will mask the black from bleeding through our thin paper digital print, changing the white space. Just before you web up your compadre, it's always a good idea to do a quick check of the overall machine settings. Now I've powered up the unit and I've set the speed here to a comfortable 3 feet per minute. I've got the top roller in the down position, and I've set both the far left and the right shim wheel to a -1/16. Let's look at the film tensions that we've set on our overlaminate and mounting adhesive. Set the brake tension for the overlaminate to 4 full counterclockwise rotations. Set the film tension on the mounting adhesive to 7 full counterclockwise rotations. This is a good starting point, and you can make fine adjustments from here. But remember, when it comes to mounting and laminating and film tension, like in life, less tension is better. You'll need an empty 3-inch core. This is where we're going to attach and wind up the release liner from the Coverite V6M. I'll place it on the compadre by depressing it to the left and letting it rest back to the right. We'll center the wind-up tube in relation to the overlaminate. Next, I want to set the brake tension for the wind-up shaft to 4 full counterclockwise rotations. Find the leading edge of your Coverite V6M and pull some material onto the infeed table. Next, take a small piece of tape and twist it 180 degrees. This will allow you to tape to the back side of the release liner and to the wind-up core. Next, separate the Coverite V6M all the way across and pull the material down onto the infeed table so that it touches the top roller. Release the material and raise the infeed table into its up and resting position. Before attaching your mounting adhesive to your overlaminate, do a quick check to make sure that the two films are in line with each other. If they're not, slide the bottom mounting adhesive to the right so that their films are directly in line with each other. Find the leading edge of the Mount Smart Gold and pull enough material off using a wide grip and attach it to the Coverite V6M. Tack it firmly all the way across the web and then place the infeed table into its down and resting position. To get the two attached films through the nip, I'm going to use a scrap piece of cardstock about 1/8 of an inch thick. This is because our rollers are in the closed position during this webbing process. I'll place the leader board on the front feed table and press it firmly into the nip. I'll use the foot switch to advance the leader board into the nip. You'll notice that the rollers will raise up and then lower when the leader board passes. Once the rollers touch back down, I'll take my foot off of the foot switch and we've finished up the webbing. Now that we're ready to laminate this print, there's only one last critical step we need to do. We need to use a print cleaning roller and wipe down the entire area of our print. This is going to ensure that we remove any small particulates that are on top of the image that would be trapped up underneath the overlaminate. Here's a tip. Anytime you laminate a print, make sure you have a good straight edge to start with. Now we'll take the print and place it onto the infeed table, and I'll make sure that I align the print parallel to the nib. I'll use the foot switch to start the laminator and slowly feed the leading edge into the nib. Once I've done that, I'll reach over and place the laminator in the auto run or forward mode. I can take my foot off of the foot switch and we can go to the back side of the laminator and watch our print exit. When the print exits the laminator, make sure you only use a safety knife to cut your print loose from the web. We'll go ahead and stop the laminator using the stop switch located in the back and cut the print from the web. I'll place the print on the work table and then we can trim out the remaining excess so that we can get ready to mount the print to our substrate. Just as I recommend that you clean off the surface of your print before you turn it into a decal, it's important to clean off the mounting substrate as well, because any small particulates that are left on the top of the foam board here will only be amplified when you mount your decal. Now I've trimmed off some of the excess from around the graphic and you'll notice that one edge has been cut flush. Now to mount the decal to the foam board, the first thing we'll need to do is to turn it over and peel back some of the release liner across this edge here. I'm going to peel back some and fold a crease, leaving about 2 inches of exposed adhesive, starting in the middle, pressing all the way out to the left and the right. We'll turn the graphic over and I'll use this cut edge here to align the decal to the board. Now once I have it in alignment, I can actually take my palm and using this area here, start in the middle and tack right over the top of the crease that we made in the release liner, going from the left to the right. This will affix the decal in the correct position to the board. Now, with this done, we can go over to the laminator and finish out the mounting. Make sure you do a quick check of your machine settings before you process your board through the laminator. We're working with 3/16 foam board, so I'll set the left and the right shim wheel to 3/16. And I'll place the rollers in the down position. Start by placing the leading edge that you tack to the board firmly into the nip and make sure it's square. Give a light tap, a jog to the foot switch to start the leading edge into the nip. Now the board is held firm and secure. Lift the decal up and wrap it around the top main roller. Grab the release liner and pull the release liner away from the nib and use the foot switch to advance the laminator. Continue this process until the board is all the way through the nib. When you start to get close to the end or the tail end of the decal, raise the release liner up. This will make the decal cling to the top roller. Now we can go to the back side and look at our finished project. Looks great. All we have to do is trim off this little bit of overhang. To trim off this overhang, I'm going to use the AGL Imager. It's the fastest, best way to do this. But I'm actually going to go slow so you can see how the tool works. I'm going to take the flat edge here and press it firmly against the edge of the board. And with a simple forward motion, it's self-guiding and self-aligning, and it'll give you an absolutely flush cut. I'll rotate the board, align the knife, and make another cut. We've got one more to do. I'll align the knife and push the imager forward. And you can see how easy that is. Remember, with AGL materials and your compadre, you can accomplish mounting paper prints to rigid substrates like this with ease.